share with you. I'm so excited for the weekend. I have been letting Dave do all of my lives because I could not talk without coughing. So today I am talking without coughing. Let's just manifest that. I don't feel bad. I have just been where every time I would take a breath or start to talk, it would just be like a coughing fit. So here I am today feeling strong and healthy. And I wanted to come live to you and share with you some things that I have learned from my mom. So my mom's birthday is this weekend. Well, we're celebrating it today and tomorrow. I don't know when. There's so many of us and everybody's all over the place. We used to own a Christmas store. I don't know how many of you ever came there. It was called Christmas Wonderland, Kansas Christmas Wonderland, and it was at her RV park. So we used to spend the whole month of December just decorating trees, and we had live reindeer, and we had a trackless train, and we had a live nativity set and s'mores by the fire. And we would just spend the whole month together. So we love Christmas, our whole family, all the girls, even the guys. Dave is currently down in the warehouse hand wrapping 31 boxes for employees and diamonds and a lot of things that he made for them. And we hand wrote cards. Like, we just love the holidays. So drop in the comments if you love Christmas, and drop in the comments if you could have a hard pass on the holidays. You know, I think it depends on the year, but the real magic of Christmas is giving someone something and seeing them smile, seeing them excited, the surprise. Kids bring so much magic to Christmas, right? So I have my Christmas hat ready. I thought about wearing it today because honestly, I got some hot roots. I need to get to the salon, but I haven't had time. Do you guys like my animal print Santa hat? And I have my brand new green tumbler. I don't know how many of y'all saw this. I accidentally shared it last Saturday, but it's tuned with 200 frequencies, EMF protection, and the straw. Let's just say the straw. We have an anti-wrinkle straw. This one comes with a straight straw, but everything tastes better in this, and it's helping me and my body to stay well. So I'm blessing my mom with a tuned frequency tumbler today and some tuned jewelry. And I can't tell you what else, but I do have something that's just going to be epic. My sisters are all going to be fighting for it, but I can't tell you because that would ruin the surprise. So anyway, shout out to my mom, Lana Zorn. It is her birthday this weekend. It's actually tomorrow. I woke up this morning, literally woke up at 2:30 or 3. Got my entire basement finished. All the trees are done. Callie's room, Chance's room, the family tree. And I'm hoping to go help my mom with her tree today and then drive to Kansas City to see my daughter at some point. I've been waiting until I knew I was well. How many of you saw her announcement this week? She is expecting a baby, and we are all so excited. So my mom will have one more great grandchild. And I think there's 23 grandkids. Nobody has ever moved away from Russell. So every time there's a birthday, there's like 50 people for breakfast somewhere. And my mom's just an amazing, the most incredible human. Next to my grandma, which is her mom, the most incredible human that has ever come into my life. So I'm grateful for her. And I am going to go spend some quality time with her today. But I want to tell you some lessons I learned from my mom, because one thing, you just never see my mom mad. She is always happy. She's always full of bliss. She does what she wants, when she wants. She doesn't get too ruffled about anything. But I've had a lot of times in my life where I had to go to my mom and write this down. Your mom is usually right because she's older than you. She's wiser than you, and she's had more experience at life than you. So watching my mom, she's super, super happy. Always been a single mom. She's been single for good since 1989. She was single off and on. My dad left and came back when I was in high school. 84, he left. 86, he came back. 89, he left and he never came back. So my mom has been very independent, amazingly strong all of my life. But some lessons that I learned from her, especially when it comes to the holidays, she does not run around buying a million things for every kid and spoiling them. She just doesn't. You're going to get something you can use. Like you might get a nice coat. One year she made sure everybody had a North Face, or one year she got everybody's shoes. But all of the people around you that are so stressed out, running around trying to get a million gifts under the tree. If you were to see my mom today, she's probably working on a rental, feeding her calves, cleaning her car wash. Maybe she's going to do something that she loves, but she's not going to be all stressed out and mad. She is always happy. And one of the things that I think is why she's always happy, she always has a goal. She's always looking for the next house she's going to buy or renovate or what she's going to work on. She's never idle. And the thing that I can remember her and my grandma saying is that you need to have ambition. You know, idle time is the devil's workshop. And ambition doesn't mean you have to be a workaholic. Ambition means, what's your goal? What are you looking forward to? What is your project that you have? What is that next thing on your list? And the reason why I think she's so incredibly healthy and she outworks everybody is because her energy is so high, always focused on how she's going to find something and make it better. Whether it's investing her time in an elderly person, she's a great caregiver, she's a great nurturer, she's always trying to save every dog, every cat, and every human. So she's very non-judgmental when it comes to a stranger can come to her RV park and they'll be staying there and we'll be having Thanksgiving or Christmas. And if they don't have family, she'll say, what are you doing tonight for dinner? And if they're not doing anything, she brings them right into the house. She doesn't even do a background check. She's just like, come with me. We've got plenty. And the other thing, she lives so far below her means. She's very thrifty and saves and has more than most, but you would never know it. So when you're getting ready to leave and there's leftovers or scraps, she's never wasteful. She's putting it all on a platter to give someone's dog, or she's making platters so that she can drop it off with any shut-in, someone that doesn't have family, someone that maybe is single and they're not going to cook a big meal for themselves. And I think that comes from my mom being a single woman. One day she said, I hate winter. And I said, why do you hate winter, Mom? And she said, because I hate going home in the dark. And so anytime that Dave and I are going to town and we're like going to go eat or something, I'll be like, we should check on my mom and see what she's doing. Because, you know, when you have been through things, you have a lot more compassion for people that are going through things. And when I see people that are selfish, she is not. She is very selfless. People that are selfish, it's because they've never been through anything to break them down to actually have compassion for other people. Now, I want you to think of someone who's never had any adversity in their life. They've never been through a lot. What happens is it's about me, right? People who have been through a lot, or they've been with family that's been through a lot, they have an understanding. They have more wisdom. They have more knowledge. They have compassion because they've been heartbroken, or they've been grieving, or they've been without. And then when they do have it, they never forget where they came from, and they want to help others who don't have it. And honestly, I feel like that is my mom to a T. There's a family in town right now just going through some devastating news, and I'm not going to discuss it because I don't know all the details on it, but a young girl whose mom is on life support. And the crazy thing is, yesterday my mom messaged me and she said, you would make such a good foster mom. And I said, oh my God, I would if I wasn't doing all the things I'm doing. And my mom and I were both thinking about the young girl. And it's crazy because I feel like a mother and her children, your DNA is always kind of attached. You feel their feelings just on a whole nother level. Drop in the comments if you're a mom. And if you would agree that when your children or people that you love are going through something, good or bad, you feel that emotion, whether you want to feel it or not. Am I right or am I right? I know that I am right. So, as a mom, I want you guys to imagine this. My mom has raised 5 of us. My mom has raised 5 of us. And we're all in the same little hometown. So whether it has been grief or financial, or, a couple of us have been through some health things, or losing a loved one, or a mental battle, or suicide in the family, or a loved one with cancer, or a bankruptcy, or a separation. My mom has been through closure. She's been through divorce. Her mom died when she was 30 years old. My grandmother was 60. Can you even imagine that? I was a senior in 1989 when my dad left. Her dad died the following year. So she lost her mom, then she lost her husband, then she lost her dad. And when I think about that, all I see is just strength, just absolute strength. I personally cannot imagine losing my mom at the age of 30. I absolutely cannot imagine it. I cannot imagine raising my children without being able to go to my mom or Dave's mom. I absolutely cannot imagine it. But one of the things that I will tell you about my mom is that she never lets you see her sweat. She never lets you see her sweat. So even when she's going through something that's very hard or very traumatic, she has a very strong faith. I can remember a couple of years ago when Dave and I were renovating all the properties at the lake. Dave was working on a lot of houses, and I would come back and forth, and I would go stay with my mom. And my mom would literally say to me, because we were going through a lot, we had a prayer friend, a prayer counselor, still have her. And my mom would say, do you want to call Max? Have you prayed with her today? And my mom's faith is so strong. She'll lean on the Lord, but she won't lean on other people. You will never see her cry. You will never see her sweat, because her faith is that it's all going to work out. It's all going to work out. It'll get better. I want you guys to write that down. This is one of my mom's famous things. Whether it was one of my kids, or whether it was taking care of Dave's mom, or the tragic car accident she was in, no matter what has ever happened, my mom will always look at me. Even if I'm sobbing, she will look at me and say, it will get better. It's going to get better. Things are going to get better. It's going to get better. Any of you ever have something that your mom said that just rings in your head all the time, just over and over and over, and it helps you to have strength? Another thing that I learned from my mom, and you should write this one down too. It actually came from her mom, which I would say as a little girl, my mom's mom, my grandmother, practically raised me until I was 12, because my parents worked a lot, and they had a trucking company and a campground and a grocery store and some kind of interest in a Sonic restaurant and a bunch of rental properties and a putt-putt golf course. And they had a wood cutting business where we cut and split firewood and delivered it. And they tore down and renovated buildings and sold the wood. And we had livestock. Like, we never stopped. So if my mom and dad were home, we were working. And if my mom and dad weren't home, we were working. But I was at grandma's house all the time until I was 12, and she passed away. And the one thing that she always said is, if you don't have something good to say, don't say it at all. And at all, I thought was spelled A-T-L-L, all one word. If you don't have something good to say, don't say it at all. So we never discussed people. We discussed, let's go drive around and look for a pontoon boat that we could renovate and sell in the summer. Or let's look for a trailer house that we could paint and rent. Like, Sundays, we would drive to Salina, Kansas. We got this newspaper called the Shopper's Guide, and we drove around looking for someone's problem that we could buy and make it better. Anything my mom gets, she makes it better. She buys a house, she makes it better. She buys an RV, she makes it better. She buys a car, she makes it better. And she's constantly increasing value. She brings so much value, she increases value. Last time I checked, they had about 90 rentals, 2 car washes, an RV park, a ranch, tons of cattle. And this is a woman that was literally left with 5 children and didn't even know where my dad was for about 3 or 4 years. The year Dave and I got married, my mom and dad got a legal divorce because my mom was like, let me at least get some closure here. Never any child support. That was the agreement. It was just done. And my mom had full custody of us and she did everything for us. Now, when I say everything, she taught us how to work. She taught us how to clean. She taught us how to mow. She taught us how to throw papers. She taught us how to go babysit. She taught us how to fold our clothes and cook our own food. And like, nobody was doing that for you. You needed to get up and do something. So when people are around me and my family, they say, you know, I think your siblings have some kind of a like workaholic disease. No, we actually love it. We actually love what we do, and we're constantly trying to figure out how to bring value. So I would say that is what I got from my mother. So some of you, I got to put my glasses on to see. Some of you in the comments, you know my mom. And I see everything that you're saying. She is absolutely incredible. But what is it about your mom that you would say that you have learned as a lesson that you carry with you all the time? Now, my kids are young, so they would be like, my mom's a hoarder. She saves everything. She worries about everyone else except herself. Like when you're young, there's a lot of things that your mom does that will like so annoy you. And then as you get older, you're going to be like, dang, now I know why my mom did that. I was thinking about Christmas this week. And especially now that we don't have Dave's mother with us, because you miss all the little things that your mom did for you, right? So I really feel like Christmas is one of those holidays. And it's not just moms. I'm watching Chance right now as a single dad trying to make Christmas special for his kids like we did. And we did it together. It's a lot of work even as a couple, but for all of you that are single parents, it's a lot. But I want you to know this. It's magical because you make it special. The memories that your kids have, whether it's you going to cut down a Christmas tree and it's out in the woods and it's free, whether it's you driving around looking at lights. We always drove all over and looked at lights. We got hot chocolate. We drove around. We looked at lights. It wasn't expensive. It was free. We went out in the country. My dad would be like, we're going to go over on this guy's land and cut down a tree. We dragged in a tree. We cut the trunk so it would fit right. Like the memories that I have, we didn't have someone come decorate our yard. My dad would get plywood and we would cut out snowmen and we would paint them and make the whole family out of wood. Like I have so many memories because of the time, the quality time that my parents took to actually make Christmas special. It wasn't how many things we had under the tree. I might have got 1 or 2 things that were like a little stereo or a pair of cowboy boots. I remember one year I wanted these boots so bad from Pitcock's Western Wear. Dave's mom and dad owned a Western Wear company. And I wanted these boots so bad. And my mom and dad were like, you're not getting those boots. And there was these Kenny Rogers jeans. I don't know if any of you guys remember the Gloria Vanderbilt or the Kenny Rogers jeans, but this was a long time ago. It was a big deal. So dressing Western was in, right? And I wanted these boots so bad. But my mom and dad got a boombox box and they wrapped the boots in the boombox box. The boombox is like something you would carry on your shoulder. And I didn't want a boombox. I wanted these cowboy boots. So when they left, I unwrapped it and I was so mad that I didn't get the present I wanted, and they had tricked me and put it in a different box because they knew I was going to unwrap the box when they left, right? Oh my gosh, now we're going back. Gloria Vanderbilt, Jordache. So we all have certain Christmas memories where our parents did something. Our parents did something that we will never forget. And I want you to think about this. What is that something? What is that something? Dave's mom made us all a recipe book, and it's all her handwritten recipes. My mom would sometimes say, let's go pick out a Santa. And me and her would go to our favorite shop, and she would pick out a Santa. But growing up, she always took us to this place in Great Bend, and it was called Fantasy Village. It was in Great Bend, Kansas. And it was like an old farm, and there was a pond, and there was lights all around it. Great big snowman that was like 3 stories tall. You could ride a train, you could get hot chocolate, and there was a little gift shop. And you would go in there, and everybody would pick one ornament. So now every year when I decorate my tree, I still have the polar bear from 1992 that my mom bought for me at Fantasy Village. It's the little things, guys. That ornament is a $5 ornament. It's a $5 ornament. But because my mom went with me and we picked out this ornament and we drank hot chocolate and we sat on Santa's lap, nobody was in a rush. We were actually taking in the moment. There was a playground. I remember Chance would sit on this playground with the little springy horse and just play forever. And it was freezing cold. It wasn't convenient. It wasn't comfortable, but we were making memories, and they still remember those moments today. So while you're stressing out about all the stuff during the holidays, what could you do? A handwritten note. Last night, I handwrote 31 cards. I was going to bed anyway. I would be scrolling, looking at Facebook, or some of you do TikTok, or I would sit there and write them out. I want to be more like my mom. Now, my mom is last minute. I will tell you that. She's usually not on time. She's always running late because she has so many things to do, and she scoots in a nick of time, and she's there, but she's definitely not wasting a minute before she gets there. But let me tell you, hi, Kaysen, there's my little nephew. Kaysen, we're talking about Nanalana, so drop in the comments what's the best thing about Nanalana. So one of the things, and this is probably going to insult some of you, we spend a lot of money on things that we don't need to impress other people who probably don't care anyway, but it's our ego, right? So my mom has no ego. When you see her, she's usually wearing a ball cap. She's sometimes covered in dog hair or the car wash, or she has paint on her. Like, she doesn't care, but she's so happy with her inner self. She lives so far below her means. The woman's probably worth, I don't know what. She's worth a lot, but she drives a little Toyota truck. She picks up the dump milk. She picks up the old Subway bread. She picks up whatever gets thrown out in the dumpster, the fruit, the veggies. She feeds it to the animals, and she drives around in her little white truck full of stuff like she didn't have 2 pennies to rub together, but she does. And I think a lot of people in this day and age, it's all about the name brand. It's all about the status. Now, I'm not saying I want to drive an old truck with a bunch of junk in it. I'm just saying ego versus bank account. Ego versus bank account. If she wants something, she's going to pay cash. She's not going to go get a loan. And if she can't afford it, she's not going to get it. Probably how she has compounded and created so much wealth. So anytime that I start thinking that I might need a nicer car or a nicer house or something, I mean, don't get me wrong. When it comes to my grandkids, the budget is out the window. When it comes to my kids, I would do anything to create memories with them. The trip, the wedding, but like stuff I just have never been about stuff. And I think that comes from living in a small town. And oh my goodness. Kaysen says, I love how she collects junk, but it actually comes to use. Very true. And I will tell you, people will say she's a hoarder, but anything you want, you can dial her up. She doesn't just have one or two. She will go find them for you in one of her sheds, right? So here's what I would say. Living below your means. Not increasing your lifestyle until you know that you can afford it. Saving for a rainy day, having 2 or 3 months of income in your safe or under your mattress or in your bank before you go increase your living expenses to get something that you probably don't need. It's that delayed gratification that she has taught us to always live below your means and make good financial decisions. So yes, I would love to live a little closer to my grandkids. My phone is ringing. I have to ignore that on Instagram. Should have hit do not disturb. I would love to live a little closer to my grandkids this week. And my mom doesn't blame me on this, right? Like, you need to get out there and help him. You need to get to Kansas City. And today my mom's like, don't worry about my birthday. You go help Callie. But the reality is she would do anything for her kids. She's not going to give you a handout. She's going to let you learn on your own. But if you needed her, she would be there. So this week, Lola has I think Lola and Knox, I saw it on their school calendar, have a Christmas concert on Thursday the 11th. So I've had it on my calendar now for like 30 days because I want to be that grandma that's there. Like, my mom is all about her grandkids all the time, wherever she needs to be. Last night, all the way in Osborne, bunch of them had a basketball game. There's 2 or 3 seniors and some juniors, and like wherever the kids are, my mom is there. But this week, I'm getting on an airplane because I'm not missing a Christmas concert. And I don't know what I'm going to do when Callie has this baby, because between Arizona and Kansas City, I'm just going to need a pilot or a driver, one of the two. But the reality is, everything I am and everything I aspire to be, I would say I learned from my mom and my grandma. And she's just such an amazing woman. She is such an amazing woman. Non-judgmental, a servant heart, always thinking about others more so than just herself. Very forgiving. I would say, she just texted me. She said, Barb, it's not a big deal if you want to go to Callie's. And she spells Callie's name different every time she texts me. That's another thing I love about her. She probably voice texting. But I would say, when my dad and his wife came home last month for his sister's funeral, my mom said, well, they didn't have to stay in your basement. They could have taken one of the cabins at my RV park. They could have had their own Airbnb. And, you know, my question is, how many of you would invite your ex and their new spouse or significant other after such a hard life and say, oh, you can stay here in my rental property, or you can stay here in my cabin? That's my mom. She is an incredible soul. She is selfless. She outworks everybody. She's smart. She's strong. She's loving. And she has taught me so much about how to be an amazing human. She'll text me and say, hey, do you want to ride to church together? Or, hey, do you want to go get a pizza? Pizza is 2 for $1 tonight. We could split one. Like, it doesn't matter how much success she has or how much money she has or any of that. She's always thinking how to live below her means, take something and turn it into more, and how to bless others. So I hope that you guys are inspired by that. I would love to hear in the comments the lessons that you have learned from your mom and how that has affected your life. I will tell you, Dave's mom and my mom were 2 peas in a pod. When Dave and I got married, they were both newly divorced. by 1 year. They were both incredibly poor, struggling just to survive. They were strong, they were witty, they were hardworking, and they loved those 3 grandbabies. We gave them 3 grandbabies in 4 years. We never left town. They were with us every single day. If we did leave town for trips or sports or whatever, we took them with us everywhere we went. And we were just like a unit, right? And so losing Dave's mom has been really, really hard. It makes the holidays different. This is our 3rd Christmas without her. It's probably never going to be the same, but trying to create some new traditions and carry on the things that her and my mom always did together. And I think forever and ever and ever, my greatest memories with the 2 of them will definitely be all the nights we spent together at Christmas Wonderland, where we were blessing other families with the spirit of Christmas. And they would come into our park or our store, and Dave's mom would ring them up. She was the cash lady. My mom would haul their stuff out to their car. I was the decorator. We had the bakery. We had Santa pictures. And we just had so many years where we were just all together every day, the whole month of December. And I think time together is really the greatest gift. Time together is really the greatest gift. Don't worry so much about everything that's under the tree. Don't worry so much about how much you're spending or how many presents everybody has. Just go spend some quality time together. And more than anything, take a lot of pictures. Take a lot of pictures, because someday the only thing you're going to have is the pictures and the memories of the time that you spent with the people you love. You can always make more money. You can always get more stuff, but you're never going to get back this time. No matter what you have to do, make the time to spend with them. Quality time. Be present. Put down your phone. Actually be genuinely invested in the time that you have with them. And I promise you, you're never going to forget it. And neither will your mom. I think that's the one thing moms want. They don't really care about anything else. They just want all their kids together. They don't care about anything else. They just want all their kids together. And when I say my mom is blessed in that way, oh my gosh, she is blessed abundantly in many, many ways, with 5 kids local, 23 grandkids, I think 6 great grandkids. Actually, the twins have kids. Duke's son has, there's a bunch. I've lost count, but there is a bunch, and they all come here on Christmas Eve, and we celebrate together as a Zorn family Christmas. But, you know, as your kids grow up and they all have significant others, and then their parents and their grandparents and their kids and all this stuff, it gets a lot harder to get everyone together. But we always make sure that we save Christmas Eve for my mom. And I know how much that means to her. So I hope you guys have some wisdom that you took out of today. If nothing else, don't talk about people unless it's good. Discuss business ideas. Discuss goals. Discuss dreams. Discuss things that you could do to make things better. My mom always says, let's pray about them more than we talk about them, right? She just doesn't really talk bad about people, and she always has a servant heart. So yes, Lois, family is everything. Oh, I love it. Sure. Dave bought me this last night at Hobby Lobby because I need to go to the salon, but my appointment is not until like the 17th. So, you know, Santa hat, it is all December. Ho, ho, ho. I hope you guys are having an amazing holiday season. I'm going to jump off here so I can get ready for our corporate call at 10 o'clock Central. But every Saturday morning at 9 a.m., it's No Guts, No Story. And today, I just wanted to make this a tribute to the things I've learned from my mom. And I hope that it has inspired you to be better. In order for things to get better, you got to get better. And sometimes you just need someone around you to tell you that it's going to get better. things are going to get better. And that's what my mom always says, and they always do get better. So you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you next Saturday on No Guts, No Story. Have a great day, everyone.